You're not going to be that threatened, especially by the Nautilus, because you can, block the dredge line with the clone.
Aurelion Sol!
Wow, wow, yeah, that just...
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like every pick we've had so far, pretty standard, pretty expected, no big surprises, and then just the Aurelion Sol slam.
But his name is Daystar, and it's a very celestial champion. I think it makes complete thematic sense. Beautiful. I love that. Synergy between his name and the champion. As a blind pick, Jace is not really all that surprising here. Doran going to be adding a lot of extra range to this composition as well. But can also really stand his own. Obviously, there is still... Oh, that is an Alistar for Carrier. Yeah, I mean, Carrier's Alistar has been notorious for a very long time, but it won't necessarily be the most powerful lane, and the Yorick was the most face-up thing that we've seen in a very long time. They banned the Akali instead of protecting a potential Jace pickup, and obviously they didn't have the first pick immediately after that ban phase, and so the Jace could have come in then instead, and so the counter pick is going to be there.
So a little bit of a tidbit for Daystar.
He did as well. Definitely the best skin choice. As let's get onto the Rift for game number 1 of this LCK Roadshow. All right, are we doing fan chants or not? Couldn't really hear them. There were people saying Whiting a lot. Oh, there we go. There was a fan chant. I just didn't hear anyone actually lead it. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're onto the Rift for game number 1. Already, we are breathing light all over these minions, is Daystar. Well, let's see how Faker's going to be able to play this one out. Obviously, Orianna is a pretty powerful laner in general. As Carrier just walks towards Kellen menacingly, headbutt in hand, ready to fight.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns about the Aurelion Sol specifically into the Orianna, is that Orianna can be a pretty fearsome laner. But, presuming Daystar's picking this with a lot of confidence, I do feel like there's a lot of dive threats on BNK FEARX, and Aurelion Sol doesn't necessarily fit with that. But if you get the empowered ultimate, if your team's diving in, you can still, in theory, follow up. Oh, he's just lasering Faker.
He's actually having a pretty good time, from what we can see. Faker is just going to be able to dissonance himself back. Daystar with a lot of extra space here, knows exactly where Owner is as well. They get the pings out. But Doran having a decent time here towards his top side. I think one of the things that we were talking about yesterday was Faker having a bit of an off performance, as this may not be, as Diablo just arcane shifts on top of both of them. That was insanity. It is going to be barrier advantage here for FaZe, but he's still down to 300 health, as this Nico Ezreal that is so practiced for Diablo and Kellen is really starting to pop off.
This is the point where it gets a little scary when Carry hits level 2 and there's the threat of getting knocked under the tower. Diablo going for that play was definitely a factor in...
Oh, okay, Doran taking a bit of damage here. Ghoulie Wall coming on through. At least Jace pretty good at destroying the Ghoulie Wall if needed. But still going to be a good trade for the Yorick.
Yeah, I think Diablo going in like that was definitely factoring in FaZe and Carrier not having that level 2 available, so able to play that aggressive, but now it does have to be a bit respectful near the tower. Last Aurelion Sol game was also versus Faker versus Azir and was a loss.
Yeah, Yahoo, it's been a while. Obviously not in our region anymore, as FaZe taking some damage. Kellen is basically dead. Carrier not able to get towards him though. And now Diablo just going to have to be laning alone. Wow, talk about using your health bars. Oh, Kellen tries to get in there. They are going to be able to headbutt Diablo back. Wow. And the 4th bullet is set. And FaZe picks up first blood. Raptor now looking for a bit of an angle. Everyone in the vicinity and exceptionally low, as that is going to be the Nico locking down the kill onto the cow. But Raptor, can he actually grab FaZe? The answer is no. One last auto comes through. The teleport brings Faker down just to protect his bottom lane. Oh man, it is crazy in this early game, but T1 come out on top.
Nightmare scenario for BNK FEARX, and it's just really well played by FaZe and Carrier here. The root comes in on a FaZe, the engage comes out, and they get so much damage onto Kellen. He's not able to back away from the situation, nearly dies to the 4th shot there. And then Carrier knows that Kellen has to back away, goes for the re-engage before Diablo has his cooldowns back, and FaZe lines up the 4th shot again, this time getting the kill. And then Raptor was here. He was looking for a potential gank to cover his laners, and despite the health bars being low, he just doesn't have enough to clear up this fight. Can only get the 1 kill on the carry, and it's another kill to FaZe.
He flashed out as well. I could have imagined him flashing just on top of FaZe to kill him before he goes down. Instead, he tried to flash away.
I think he was maybe trying to buy time and thought, if I play this right, I can get more than just 1 kill.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking as well.
Didn't fully pan out. And the thing is, we talked about this bot lane matchup being super favored with the early prio for the Ezreal, Nico into Jhin Alistar. But now you've given those 2 kills over. I mean, look at the CS difference bot lane.
Yeah.
And yet FaZe is up in gold because of those 2 kills. And it just really shows how the all-in that T1 found in the bot lane has really been a saving grace for what otherwise would be a miserable matchup.
Yeah, it's working out very nicely for T1 so far. 400 gold is going to be their lead just across the board. Like you were saying, 300 of that is on FaZe. Hex Flash just being experimented with here by Carrier. Do like to see the button just being pressed. It's just more fun that way. As Diablo wants to be able to grab the first plate here, will be able to do so. That's going to halve that gold advantage that FaZe does have. But the Aurelion Sol's also behind, even though Faker did use his teleport just to protect his bottom lane earlier on, is still able to be about a wave ahead of the Dragon.
Yeah, we saw that good early trade from Daystar, but I think it makes sense that Orianna is starting to pull ahead with the lane pressure. A big reason why she's been so highly prioritized. Now, in the bot lane, I think a big factor now is the Diablo and Kellen not having summoners available keeps them being vulnerable, while FaZe, his flash is up, his barrier's coming up. They have the harass, they have the poke, but still have to be so wary of these all-ins, especially as Diablo went for the tier, has just back now and picked up the Sheen, but FaZe going for that early Dirk is so much lane power. You know, we sometimes see Jins go for the early tier 2 boots, the boots of swiftness, so you have that, especially into a lane like this, the ability to dodge skill shots, but he was like, no, I'm getting damage. I want the power to threaten all-ins.
Well, you can see we're just trying to charge up. Level 6 has been picked up here by Daystar. Obviously, Aurelion Sol has a pretty impactful ultimate. And we'll see whether Daystar can find some angles to use it. As Faker doesn't really mind getting breathed on, as it looks like here. Not really taking too much damage from that Breath of Light at this point in time, and is actually doing a lot with that dissonance right now. Diablo connecting some of these Mystic shots quite nicely in this bottom lane, despite Kellen's absence. Captive Audience is just going to get procced here. Raptor will be taking down this first Drake of the game, so BNK, against the flow of play, is kind of what it feels like, but will be able to take the Dragon for themselves, although Carrier will spot it out.
Ona's coming over.
And no flash is there for Raptor. He does have the Paranoia. Let's see whether he can use it, as Ona just comes in and steals his lunch money. Kellen coming on over, seeing what he can do, but he's not there in time. It's a kill and a Dragon, and Ona just walks away.
Yeah, I think BNK FEARX getting challenged on that, obviously didn't anticipate it with the bot lane prio, but it was just an easy move in from Ona, picks up the smite, gets the kill as well. I think obviously, you know, in hindsight, going for that Dragon ends up being a mistake, but Raptor's ult was popped. I feel like he should have just like ulted to Carrier.
Yeah.
To try and, I mean, at least if Carrier gets the kill, it's better than him, but he kind of just sits in the pit and lets Ona take it. Maybe he was worried about giving FaZe another kill. Either way, it's a big advantage for T1 to get that Dragon pretty much for free and a kill onto their jungler on top of that.
Nice pulverize there from Carrier as well, but will be taking a fair bit of damage. Doesn't have the Unbreakable Will just yet, as Diablo really would have liked to hit that Mystic shot, but does not. Still, I don't think it would have killed Carrier, but allows them to do a bit more in the lane if it had have worked out. I'm going to have a look at this one more time. As Ona, yeah, he's on vision, but I think Raptor just wanted to be able to get in here and take it away, pairing the smite with his Q perhaps, but even so, Ona was able to come in and smite that one away and also kill the Nocturne, who had no flash. FaZe now taking a fair bit of damage, but so is Kellen, who is able to flash himself out of the way. Ona is moving down. They once again have information of it, but what can they do about it as Raptor, no Paranoia available, and Diablo's in a very awkward spot. Pays in on about 2 health as they do take down the Nico, and Diablo just doesn't have the health bar to chase them down.
So many skirmishes around the bot lane. We've seen T1 members on such low health. We even see Carrier TPing out to make sure he doesn't get picked up. Just feels like BNK FEARX, if a couple of things went a little bit more correct for them, they'd be in a much better position now. They're looking for Faker.
Yeah. There is the Descent as Faker just walks on out of there. And Daystar will be able to at least clear out the wave. BNK's composition does scale quite nicely, right? I think the Yorick is going to have control of side lanes theoretically later on. The problem is right now, T1 are in such a good position, and their composition is also not exactly the worst later on in the game, because they have the Alistar to set up for these team fights. Orianna obviously scales very, very nicely, and even Jace will be able to provide a lot of that much-needed damage that a lot of these Jhin compositions do really like. Although I think Pei's in a position now where I don't think he's going to be wanting for damage.
Yeah, and Callan nearly taking out Pei's there, but just not quite enough damage. Must feel frustrating with how low they end up in terms of health. I will say, you know, often we see the Neeko do really well into like Nautilus because you can block the engage with your clone, but the Alistar just kind of ignores it.
Yeah.
You know, if you clone, when the combo comes in, you and your clone get knocked up. And Callan struggling to stay alive while putting down this pressure. Obviously, there is a lot of poke from this Neeko, but it just takes one big all-in to really turn it around. And we've seen that multiple times now. Ghostblade already completed on Pei's as well as a big spike.
Yeah, allows him to get that little bit of extra movement speed as well. As True Shot Barrage is going to soften up the wave, but does not stop the back of Pei's. Will be able to get himself back home. Is it going to be boots too? Not quite yet. Never mind. He is going to be aiming for them, but those steel caps just a little bit further away. Ona moving down. We'll be able to find Clear here on the top side of the map, who did have a good ward to avoid the dive, but is still unable to stick around his wave, as that plate will go over to Doran, and they are able to stop Clear's back. Man, that is so frustrating.
I think it's just adding to the list of problems the BNK FEARX have right now. Bot lane not going how you wanted. Top lane is now at a sizable deficit. We know that obviously Yorick starts to pick up in terms of this matchup, but that hasn't really happened yet. Doran's been doing really well. And mid lane, I know it's not really installed. I know it's a pick that obviously scales well, but so does Orianna, and this Orianna has already generated a pretty good lead.
Yeah, I mean, 330 gold is not exactly the most as Captive Audience comes on through. Diablo is arcane shifting forward, though, as he really likes to do. We'll hit that last Mystic Shot as well, putting Pei's at 50%. Still no Trinity Force yet here for Diablo. Does want to hit those two items, as we talk about all the time, in order to feel good. But still hasn't got one just yet. As Raptor this time does have Paranoia if BNK FEARX want to find anything here in this bottom lane, but I don't think a dive is going to be something that they can do, and there is full information over here for T1. True Shot Barrage is going to soften up Pei's one more time.
Okay, some good poke.
Yeah, and there is the engage. Wind became lightning, and down goes the Ezreal. The Paranoia is actually going to be used in mid lane, though, as they take down Faker. Callan now trying to get out, but he will not be able to, and so it's a 2-for-1. As Raptor decided mid lane was going to be more important than trying to fight that bottom lane skirmish. As Carrier going to discover this Nocturne. Over the wall goes Ona with the audacious charge, and down will go this Nocturne. Man, Ona is having an absolute day out alongside Carrier here today.
And I feel like BNK FEARX just splitting their focus too much in this situation. There's a lot of conditions here. So firstly, Raptor's looking mid at this point when his bot lane are playing really far up. So he's already moved off, and his bot lane just end up getting engaged on because they already pushed so aggressively in the river. They both die, and sure, you get Faker in return, but it just really isn't worth. You know, you're down in terms of numbers, and then Raptor tries to move in here and just walk straight into Kerry. He's on vision. He's very away. Just cleared a control ward and gets swept up here. I mean, it's a great setup by the support of T1, but I think BNK FEARX just, you know, need to sort of, if you respect T1, like if you're playing around mid, that's fine if you want to use your Paranoia there, but that means bot lane needs to back away and give some respect. Another factor here, so Doran just used his TP now, but his TP was up and available for that dragon. So there was a chance that Doran could get a TP off and it would be a 5v4. I think there was just a lot of things that made that dragon difficult. And I don't think the attempt on Faker mid was bad. It's just you have to set the conditions up better. You can't be having your bot lane overextended while that happens.
Yeah, you can't split that focus, especially when you are falling behind. And speaking of behind, I mean, it's almost a 5,000 gold lead at this point in time. You have Daystar moving down towards this bottom side. Oftentimes to talk about scaling can bail you out, but I don't think it's happening this time. As Diablo trying to get that damage down, but they are just looking to take down Callan, and they will be able to get their prize. Ona with the Crescent Guard barely even needs it. With how tanky he is. And Diablo just has to watch as his support dies.
Yeah, I mean, Carrier, we were concerned. I was concerned about picking this Alistar into the Nico. What could happen in the 2v2? Diablo and Kellen, who, you know, their time together as a duo have kind of prided themselves on being strong in the 2v2 matchup, are just getting absolutely destroyed by Carrier right now. Kellen in particular, it feels like his flash is just being burnt as soon as it's up because of engages from this Alistar.
And this has also been one of the most successful bottom lanes that BNK FEARX have been utilizing throughout this season, right? And the fact that here in game number 1, it is just straight up losing to Jhin Alistar with a little bit of help from Ona, you could say. But still, it's bad news. Is now Faker in a little bit of trouble once again. Does flash himself out of the way and has Carrier alongside. The skies do descend, but it's nowhere near enough to deter Carrier from just killing the Nocturne.
There's just something about Carrier at Inspire Arena.
Yeah.
There's just something, you know, I don't know what it is specifically, but this game he's just been all over BNK FEARX and there to protect Faker. You know, the sort of last lane that's relatively close, BNK FEARX trying to make an attempt on it and it's shut down. And I feel like with that, this game is really just, it was already in a bad spot, but you're at a almost 6k gold deficit, 2 dragons down. It's going to go to 6k after this tower's taken. This is looking dire for BNK FEARX. And one of the issues as well is the gold is so spread. There's so many fed members of T1 who are major threats. It's not like sometimes you have a game where one person's extremely fed. If you blow them up, that removes a lot of that lead. Everyone is strong. And this is just a great timing from Carrier, great read. Even with the ult coming down, it's not enough to take down Faker. And Raptor ends up going down for that play.
Yeah, it's sort of just, there's fires all over the map. And I don't think BNK FEARX have enough firemen to put them out in any way, shape, or form. You were talking about gold leads. It's only Faker's that is not astronomically high.
Yeah.
But it is still like a killing advantage over this Aurelion Soul. The problem is in the isolated 1v1 as well, Doran has just been dominating clear in that top side at the same time. So this Jace, when he leaves lane, is going to turn up with a whole bunch of extra money than his opposite number as well.
I mean, that's the thing is that we saw Ona lean top lane to threaten a dive at one point, but even before that, there was a massive lead for Doran. He's been doing so well in the 1v1. Oh, they're going for it again.
Yep, I've seen this play before as the Rift Herald comes down towards his bottom side. No joy on the Shockwave as the Spell Shield was there as Ona is just going to take the Shelly exit. Just wanders his way out. Went a little bit low there, but he's just going to be able to careen towards the mid lane and even grab a charge. Oh, love that.
Nails it.
Gorgeous work, and he gets himself out. Doran, in the meantime, is taking this inner turret, and honestly, it just looks like they're toying with them.
Even when BNK FEARX think they have a successful play, it's like, hey, we managed to kill Faker. The payoff for T1, the fact that Ona can slip out, Herald mid, they get that tower, tons of plates, top lane, and at least BNK FEARX do pick up that bot lane tower, but it's still a sizable lead. I'm glad that they're still trying to be proactive in this game, they're still trying to make things happen, but they are struggling to keep their heads above water.
Well, Daystar is likely to die to Doran here, although he does get his singularity down. And the Shock Blast misses. And so, therefore, Daystar just kills him.
That was just a critical thing. The Shock Blast missing there from Doran. A little bit of a misplay ends up costing him and giving another kill over to
Doran
Daystar.
Flashed in to die in that play. That's what happened.
Daystar also had flash still, so he could have flashed the Shock Blast if needed, although maybe would have struggled to turn the damage around if he did that. Now they are looking.
Yeah, that is going to be a very dead Nocturne as Raptor is taken out by a bullet of Pays. Carrier, just wherever he is, BNK members will die. That is what's written.
Yeah. You know, it kind of feels bad. This would be the game in solo queue where the rest of the team want to FF, and then the Aurelion solo mid lane's like, guys, I'm ahead, I scale. Please.
We scale, man, let's do it.
I'm a dragon. Just give me some time. But it is not being going so hot. 7,000 gold, these towers about to get taken. Third dragon as well. It's hitting critical mass at this point.
Yeah. And I don't even think Nosdormu had enough time. As far as time dragons are concerned, I think that he's also the right colors, is Daystar with this particular skin, although it's a little bit more Mists of Pandaria than classic WoW, but still, maybe they can channel some of that that Chrono Drake type stuff here in order to get themselves another 50 minutes worth of items and gold without T1 just destroying their Nexus. The problem is, I don't think that T1 is going to allow that to happen.
No.
There are 2 items, I guess, on Daystar, so that is certainly good news, but we still don't have that 2-item spike for the Ezreal. And even the Yorick, he's still 2,000 gold behind. I mean, that lead has not changed. But it's just, yeah, it's 20 minutes into the game.
I mean, it feels
7,000 gold lead.
It feels so bad in Ezreal because normally you get your 2-item spike. You're like, okay, I am the strongest champion in the game. I'm up there with some of the strongest 2-item spikes there is. But when FaZe is going to have 3 items when you have 2, it just does not feel good at all.
No.
Don't really get to leverage that strength. And BNK FEARX's composition, a lot of it is focused around diving in. T1 having a Mountain Soul in the cards. I mean, if you're going in as Nico Nocturne, you're already behind. And they have that extra shielding.
Oh dear.
Where'd he go?
Death Chamber.
You know, sometimes we see the clone get focused down and it just, you know, vanishes very quickly, right? That kind of felt like that.
Yeah, looked exactly the same.
The clone might have survived longer, to be honest, at this point. Now, they are just going to look towards Baron. Raptor does have ultimate to get in. They do have the empowered Aurelion Sol ult, so...
Yeah, it's a big flanking teleport here for the Dragon and for the Yorick. As the Baron is down to about 6k, they've used a lot of their vision, but Controller does go over the back of the pit. In goes the Nocturne now as they do manage to find the ulti, but the Aurelion Sol's just dead. They take down Faker one more time, but we've seen that that doesn't bother T1 too much, as they will be able to take down Diablo as well, and Raptor takes a shock blast on his way out. I feel like Raptor's just been running away this entire game. A 1 for 2 so far in favor of T1. They also get themselves the Baron, and regardless of what happens after this, I feel like they're going to be feeling very, very good about the outcome of this one. As the curtain call comes in, one of the bullets, make it 2, are going to connect there, and Owner is also able to tidy up Raptor. Yeah, Kellen had died earlier in that explosion of Nico damage, and so I'm going to call it an ace, even though Kellen is just respawned a little bit too quickly.
I think that was the sort of play that BNK FEARX kind of had to go for. Obviously, this is Kellen getting picked. Ona lands, the wind becomes lightning, the extended dash into the shockwave. They kind of had to try and contest this Baron, but it was just difficult to do because, you know, they don't go for the steal. Raptor goes in to try and take out Faker, which they succeed at, but then this engage onto Diablo. The Ezreal just doesn't get to play the game. The target selection is so good from T1. Doran also, this time, taking out Daystar, getting revenge for that earlier solo kill. And with a 10,000 gold lead, this game is just closed.
It's pretty cooked. Minute and a half on a Mountain Soul as well, if T1 would like it, but I don't know whether we've got another minute and a half yet. And Carrier is saying that he agrees with that sentiment. Going in, although there was no one else in the area, still he's got an Unbreakable Will and is very happy to use it. And the conga line of minions will look to try and take down this inhibitor turret towards the bottom side of the map. Daystar wants nothing to do with the defense of the base, as I don't think BNK FEARX would have been able to defend regardless. Here's a Pop Blossom that just gets avoided entirely. Raptor goes into the backline to die, and they do manage to kill Carrier, so there's at least something. Didn't have the ultimate from that previous play, as Diablo in a very awkward spot gets hit by the wind, becomes lightning. That means that Ona dashes towards him. It is going to be a turret against the flow of play and some bounty gold for it, but still a drop in the ocean as it turns out. As Shockwave is just going to pull in clear. He takes a lot of damage as well. Dissonance going to help out as FaZe. He's in the ghoulie wall and is not too phased by it at all. As BNK FEARX just watching as their Nexus turrets fall. That is going to be a decent ulti here from Daystar, as Faker is once again going to be dead. Daystar goes golden before he dies, and Owner is going to go in. Crescent Guard is looking like an offensive ability by the looks. And T1 will be able to deal with these Nexus turrets eventually, as this is a very different game to what we saw against the Bros yesterday. A shellacking from T1 in game number 1. BNK FEARX really going to have to go back to the drawing board here. This felt personal after what BNK did to T1 in the LCK Cup. Some absolute